right, welcome to Proverbs 30. We are so close to being done with Proverbs. If you're still hanging in there watching these every day, congratulations. You're almost there, so keep going. With Proverbs 30, I mentioned a kind of a long time ago. For you, it may feel like ages ago, that there was something a little bit different about Proverbs 30, really Proverbs 30 and 31. And we see this in verse 1 here, where it says the words of augur. Now, who is this augur, gentlemen? Well, it tells us also here that he's the son of Yakeh. Oh, that clears it up. Except for the fact that it doesn't clear it up because you don't know who Yakeh is, and neither do I. Who are these people? We don't know. But you may have maybe your translation says this, or maybe you have a footnote that says something along the lines that Yakeh is a man of Massa. If your translation, doesn't have that, well, now you know. So you're welcome for that. But yeah, so apparently augur and Yakeh, they come from Massa, so they are Massaites. But that still doesn't give us a lot of context. So the Massaites, this was a tribe in Arabia, and they were related to the Ishmaelites. So think, you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the Old Testament here. And think, you've got Abraham and you've got Isaac and Ishmael. And remember, Ishmael and Hagar get sent off out into the wilderness. And so this tribe here, the Massaites, they're related to the Ishmaelites. So they're related to Ishmael in some way, shape, or form. And if we really dig in our Old Testament, we actually see Massa mentioned a couple times in Genesis 25, verse 14. As well as in 1 Chronicles 1:30, and it's just kind of a passing reference. So we still don't get a lot of information about who these people are, but that's okay. But there's a little bit of context. So now maybe you feel more informed. I hope you know. So let's look at a few verses like we have been doing. Let's start with verses 2 and 3. So these kind of go together here. It says, "Surely I am too stupid to be a man. I have not the understanding of a man. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I knowledge of the Holy One." Now this is self-effacing, wording right here. This is exactly, so the assumption here is that these are the words of augur, and he's saying, hey, I'm too stupid to be a man. I do not have the understanding of a man. And so this word understanding actually comes from a Hebrew word, ba'ar, and it means it doesn't. And what it really means is I don't have the rationality to differentiate a human from an animal. Like, that's how foolish I am. That's how stupid I am. I can't even do this. And what this is really doing is it's all about self-awareness, and it's all about humility. And just understanding that, compared to God, I'm completely ignorant. There's so many things that I don't know. And that's what augur is doing here. I'm too stupid to be a man. I do not have the understanding of a man. I have not learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the Holy One. So again, it's humility. It's self-effacing here. And this is important, because as we roll into verse 4, we get these questions here, kind of these big questions, like, who has ascended to heaven and come down? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has wrapped up the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name? Surely you know. And these questions are really meant to drive recognition of our shortcomings when it comes to knowledge. They really drive recognition and acceptance of human ignorance. And that's not meant to be a dig, or it's not meant to be, offensive to anybody, but they're just things that we're ignorant about, and there's things that we don't know, we don't understand. And so we asked, and so augur kind of asked these rhetorical questions of, who has wrapped up the waters in the garment, or who has established all the ends of the earth? We know who did it, but we don't know how he did it. And so again, wisdom is a divine attribute of God, and it's something that we can tap into, but we can't tap into it to its fullest extent, because we cannot be God. We cannot become God. We cannot be on the same level as God. He gladly, disperses his wisdom to all those who seek it. Remember Lady Wisdom, going around, calling around for anybody that would just listen to this wisdom and take it to heart. But there's things we don't know. And really think back, if you haven't read Job, go back to Job and read Job 38 and 39, chapters 38 and 39, because you've got kind of the same thing going on here. Powerful stuff, really, really amazing stuff. And then there's kind of this change when you get over to verse 15, really 15 to 33. You kind of have these numerical proverbs here. Notice all of them have, they talk about numbers, with the exception of 17 and 20. So, kind of something just to kind of be aware of as you're reading through this. And so let's look at this really quick. Let's look at 15 and 16 read together. It says, the leech has 2 daughters, give and give. 3 things are never satisfied, 4 never say enough. Remember that kind of like that +1 comparison. 3 things are never satisfied, but 4, there's never enough. Sheol, which is the grave, the barren womb, the land never satisfied with water, and the fire that never says enough. So there's a lot here. There's really a lot in this, and for us to fly through Proverbs 30 in just a short video it doesn't do any justice. Please spend some time on Proverbs 30. But just jumping back to 15, the leech has 2 daughters. Kind of the idea here is, we have leeches in the 21st century. And it's referring to people, obviously. People that leeching on to other people, and like a leech, it just sucks, consumes until it's full, until it's over full. It's almost like a tick as well. You might call them a leech, you might call them a succubus, you might call them your children. I don't know what you call them. You may have these people in your life, but when it talks about these people, these leeches, there's basically 2 gears here. There's give and give, and it's like gimme. It's kind of the idea here, and then it illustrates this by again saying that there's 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 things that are never enough, and it's talking about Sheol. So Sheol, the grave, never full enough. It's never gonna be like, well, we can't accept any more. We're full. No, it's never. There's never gonna be too many people there, and ideally there'd be as few people there as possible. The barren womb. So think back to the Old Testament time. And to have a barren womb was a great embarrassment. As a woman, you wanted to have children. Like this was a sign of blessing is what it was. And to be barren was it was a shame. And so the barren womb, I always wanted, like, I need children, give me children, I want children. It's something you always want. So that desire is always there for more. The land that's never satisfied with water. So think Israel. Think about a desert when it rains. It's so dry there. That the water just gets kind of soaked up, and it's like it didn't even rain. So that's kind of the idea here. Never enough water. And then think about fire. The fire that never says enough. I've never met a fire that was ever satisfied. There was like, nope, no more kindling, no more wood, no more paper. No, I'm full. No, you throw a dry log on a fire, it's just gonna consume it, and then you throw another one, it's gonna do the same thing. It's not gonna be satisfied, and that's kind of the idea here. Is again this idea of just never being satisfied. Gimme, and that is who the leech is, and that is who Proverbs is talking about in 15 and 16. Again. So much here. There's so much in Proverbs 30 and really in Proverbs 31 as well. It really demands your time to just sit down, sip some tea, sip some coffee, and just methodically read through this and just process it as you go through, because it's magical. It really is magical. So that's Proverbs 30 in all of I think a little over 9 minutes. I apologize for this video being long, but I look forward to seeing you in the next video as we wrap up Proverbs. Thanks.